Hey folks, so doing today's podcast from my car because it's something that's hit me, and I just want to go ahead and put this out there. So what I what I look at Donald Trump as is kind of like a corrupt antidote to the corruption of the left. And I'll give you an analogy. I remember when I was a kid, my mom had this mechanic named Lynn. Lynn was from Vietnam. I can't remember if he or his parents had fled Vietnam at the fall of Saigon, but it was around that time that he came. So he's my mom's age, and he was living in Louisiana. A lot of Vietnamese had immigrated and lived in Louisiana because the coastal Louisiana is very similar to Vietnam. A lot of rice fields, a lot of coastal marshes, a lot of shrimping, similar industries. They were able to assimilate landscape-wise and industry-wise to Louisiana. So there was a large Vietnamese population in Louisiana. Okay. And he had a auto mechanic shop where he worked on Japanese cars, predominantly Japanese cars. And he also had a side hustle where he shrimped. He owned some shrimp boats, and he was a commercial shrimper. He got caught shrimping in waters he wasn't supposed to, and he was going to go to court. And my mom says, "Len, you need to hire yourself a good lawyer." And he said, "No, I need a bad lawyer." My mom was referring to good as incompetent, like a competent lawyer. He was saying bad in the morally ambivalent sense. I need a morally ambivalent lawyer who, even though I'm guilty, is going to get me off anyway. He knew he was caught red-handed fishing in waters he wasn't supposed to. But he looked at it as, as the law being immoral or maybe unrighteous. And he was being righteous by shrimping there because he needed to catch shrimp so he could sell it, so he could feed his family, keep a roof over his head, whatever. He needed to support his family, his lifestyle. And I don't know if he was doing well, and whatever. Okay. That's not the point of this. The point of this is he wanted somebody on his side who is morally ambivalent, who is going to look out for his best interest. And I think that's what we see from both sides. And the left has been so immoral and corrupt and unethical that the right is saying we need a Donald Trump who is immoral and corrupt, but he's immoral and corrupt in the ways that favor us, and he's going to be a counter corruption to your corruption. And what I see happening, kind of working its way through, is Donald Trump is going to be in there for 4 years. And there are those people that are saying, well, you might find a way to run again. He'll be 84 years old. Okay? But he's not going to run again. Okay? But what I see working out is he's corrupt in the way the Republicans like, and he's going to root out their corruption. You can say, well, this is hypocritical. Yeah, it is. But I think what's going to happen is these corruptions will cancel each other out. It will end the left's corruption. And then at the end of 4 years, it'll be like a scorched earth on all corruption in Washington, D.C., and in walks J.D. Vance. A moral, good, decent, very intelligent, capable president, ushering in 8 years of moral goodness. And what I hope is going to happen is we'll have a J.D. Vance on the left. It's not going to be who we think it is. It's not going to be AOC. It's not going to be, I don't know, who are the big leftists right now? Bernie Sanders. He's too old anyway. But it's going to be somebody else. Somebody else is going to have to rise up from the ashes on the left to be. I'm trying to remember who the Speaker of the House was in the 1980s. In the 1980s, we had a good situation where you had Ronald Reagan, and who was the Speaker of the House? I can't remember his name, but you had moral people on both sides. And yeah, I get people are gonna say, well, Donald Trump and the AIDS thing and Iran country, yeah, he made some huge mistakes. But regarding how the country was to be run, they both could come together and agree on the objective of growing the country and moving it forward and being and agree on the what, which is doing what's in the best interest of the country. And where they differed on was how they were going to get there. Raise taxes, lower taxes, where they were going to spend funding, and what how they're going to do it. But they agreed on what they wanted, which is what was in the best interest of the country. Right now, we're not even there. And so what I think needs to happen is, or needed to happen, is you had the moral people on the left and the moral people on the right, instead of fighting each other, turn and root out the corruption within their own party, and to have the moral people on the left look to within the left and say, hey, we need to root this out, and the people on the right do the same thing. But that hasn't happened. So what has happened is the corruption, the corrupt people are basically kind of canceling each other out. It's almost like at the last scene in Game of Thrones, when the Mad Queen with her dragon is flame spraying King's Landing, and then she gets killed off, and then the dragon leaves. So in this analogy, Donald Trump is the dragon, right? And he comes in, the Mad King, the Mad President. He's kind of a combination character in this analogy of, the Mad Queen and the dragon. And he's going to lay flame spray to King's Landing, which is Washington, D.C. And then he's going to fly off. And then we're going to usher in a new era. Because I think right now, people on the left and the right, I speak to people on both sides who are sick and tired of it all, who want to go flame spray on all of it, want it all to go away. And I'm hopefully optimistic that's what's going to happen. And it's interesting that only, ironically enough, Donald fucking Trump is the one who's going to do that and going to usher in. So it's the goodness in our future 8 years is going to come in after Trump. Whoever comes after him, which I predict is going to be JD. I think JD is going to he's smart enough to keep himself clean, to ride this wave into 8-year presidency. The left has done way too much damage to itself with a lot of the stuff that they've been pushing with, transitioning of children. That's kind of a litmus test for a lot of people. Like, if you can't even tell me the difference between men and women, then that's a sanity check. And I don't want to elect you president to run my government if you can't even tell me the difference between men and women. And I could go on for days. I don't want to make this a diatribe over the left, but anyway, that's what I kind of see happening, and we'll see if it works out that way. But anyway, I just want to share those thoughts with you guys. If you have thoughts of your own, please comment down below. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it. Help me promote things. All right, y'all have a great day. Peace out.